Yep.
We're going to call to order the October 23rd meeting of the Portsmouth Police Commissioner. Commissioner Shaheen is joining us remotely from out of the country.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm unable to share my videos, but I'm not sure what reason, but I'm here and on video and I can see you.
All right.
That's okay. Let's not hold anything up. I can see you all. You don't need to see me. You can see the picture.
Commissioner Shaheen,
Pic-
would you like to continue chairing the meeting, or would you like Commissioner Scher to do it?
Oh, Commissioner, sure, you go ahead and we'll just make sure we do roll call votes.
Okay.
Make things-
Why don't we all stand, and Chief Newport, you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Request a motion to suspend the agenda to move to item number 1, the vesting.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
we need to do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Shaheen?
Yes?
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. We'll now proceed to the ceremony.
Good evening, everyone. We are fortunate tonight to be able to celebrate the promotions of a few Portsmouth police officers. We'll start with Lieutenant Chris Kybird. You want to come to the podium, Chris? Lieutenant Chris Kybird, after a competitive selection process being held last week, and Chris was promoted to the rank of lieutenant and assigned to the patrol division. It's my pleasure to vest with him the supervisory authority of the lieutenant. Chris has been a police officer with the Portsmouth Police for 21 years, having hit his 25 years in law enforcement this past summer. He previously worked with the City of Keene and the York, Maine Police Department. Chris currently holds several positions and assignments with the department, such as commander of the department's motorcycle unit, member of the drone unit, and coordinator of the field training and evaluation program. Chris served as the president of the PPRA for 7 years and an executive advisor, and was an executive advisor for the Police Explorer program. He is the recipient of 3 life-saving awards and the Medal of Meritorious Service. Chris, you don't have to raise your hand. By virtue of authority vested in me through the commission by RSA 105-CA in the Portsmouth City Charter Amendment E, trusting in your experience, integrity, and fidelity, I do hereby promote you to the position of a lieutenant with the Portsmouth Police Department with all the power and authority and subject to all the deputies and liabilities of this position. Congratulations. So, just put that, don't watch it after. All right. Photographer. Back here. Next will be promotions for Detective TJ Potter. You want to come up, TJ? On September 24th, the Board of Police Commissioners unanimously voted to promote TJ to the position of detective assigned to the Investigative Division. It's my pleasure to vest him with the authority of this new position. TJ's been an officer with the Portsmouth Police Department since 2015. He's been a member of the Seacoast Emergency Response Team, served as both an advisor and executive advisor for the Portsmouth Explorers Program, and is a member of the Portsmouth Police Relief Association's Pipes and Drums Band. As a senior member of the crime scene team, he's also in his second year as a school resource officer, where he's assigned to the middle school. TJ has a bachelor's degree from the University of Massachusetts, Boston in political science with a minor in economics and East Asian studies. It's a lot of use of that here. He's in his off time, he likes to play the cello, and he's also a stonemason. Congratulations, TJ. Next is Connell Laughlin. Connell also was chosen on September 24th by unanimous decision by the Police Commission for the position of detective. Detective Laughlin is in his 7th year with the Portsmouth PD. He previously served 2 years with the Somersworth Police Department and 1 year part-time in Hampton. Connell's a field training officer, a firearms instructor, and a member of the motorcycle unit. He's also a member of the crime scene team and a board member of the Portsmouth Police Association. He holds a master's degree in elementary education and was an elementary school teacher for several years before becoming a police officer. I'll read this. By virtue of the authority vested in me through the Commission by RSA 105-CA and the Portsmouth City Charter Amendment E, trusting in your experience and integrity and fidelity, I do by here promote you to the position of detective of the Portsmouth Police Department with all the power and authority and subject to all duties and liabilities of this position. Congratulations. Next will be re-swearing in Officer Zach Brandt, who decided he wanted to go see what it was like out there in the war zone of Manchester. And after a short stint in Manchester, decided he liked life in Portsmouth and has returned back to the Portsmouth PD. Zach rejoined the Portsmouth Police Department on Monday, October 2nd. He spent 3.5 years without a department before transferring to Manchester Police Department. After a short stint there, he decided to return back to his PPD family. His experience and work ethic are a great benefit to patrollers, and we're happy to have him back. Congratulations, Zach. Zach. You have to read the whole thing. By virtue of authority vested in me through the Police Commission and RSA 105-C, trusting in your integrity and fidelity, do hereby constitute and appoint you a police officer, constable, and night watchman of said city of Portsmouth, with all the power and authority and subject to all the duties and liabilities provided by the law. Congratulations. Thank you for your continued support. You guys are more than welcome to stay for our police commission meeting, but you can leave if you choose. All right. Thanks, you too. All right. Thanks. How are you? Sorry about that.
Get an armful.
Congratulations, TJ.
You got extra points for being a good dad and
Congratulations.
actually.
Little cheering session.
Congratulations, everybody.
The motorcycle.
Juju, hi.
Was that her or was that that was his son. It was his son.
Was it?
I
Go
get
see,
it.
go see Mason.
Whatever it was a cute one.
Get it.
All right.
I'll wait till it clears out a little bit.
Actually, if I'd done them both, I would have saved probably 5 minutes.
It's a nice
I want
moment
to
for
give him a
each
little
thing.
record.
Yeah.
So next on our agenda, entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the September 26th meeting.
I move to accept the meeting minutes from the Police Commission meeting dated September 26, 2023.
Second?
Vote,
Roll call.
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Shaheen?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. And now we have the public comment period. Is there anyone in the audience or online who wishes to make a public comment? All right, the public comment period is now closed. Proceeding to the new business, the Police Commission business. First, the facilities update as to restoration. Yeah. As to restoration, let's talk about restoration. How's that going, Chief?
As far as the building goes, we've gotten the majority of things done. We still have one last project to complete, and that's the dispatch center, which we are still waiting for the right time to complete that process. Is a lot of moving pieces and moving our dispatchmen temporarily to finish that piece of the building. But for the most part, we've completed all the other projects.
Do you have any sense of how much longer it's going to be?
The answer is no.
Thank you for the honest answer. Commissioner Coyle, do you want to give us a update on the public safety facility planning?
Sure, at this point, we have a working group, weekly meetings are going forward with the department. We have a working group meeting scheduled for November 9th, and there's a meeting with City Council on November 13th.
So where are you? What have you done so far?
Well, just following up, at this point, we're still looking at the various sites. And again, as we've mentioned in prior meetings, that and information about the various sites that are being assessed are available on the website. So you can look at all of those locations and the details of the overlay of sort of space needs on those locations.
Chief, you want to add anything, or?
No, I think, the last meeting, we have another committee meeting coming up in the beginning of November. We'll be meeting, following that meeting the week later with the city council in a work session, discussing the sites further, where we're at, and hopefully narrowing down a location of the site that will be selected for the future station.
I would encourage everyone, those listening online, to go to the police department's website and look at what the working group has put up there, and so you can have a real sense of those locations being considered and what the priorities are and what the considerations are. It's very well done, and the commission, and I know the city council, very much wants to be very inclusive of whoever in the public has thoughts about the process of deciding, one, whether to rehab the current location or to build a new building and where that will be located. So please engage with the commission and the council on that.
And Commissioner Scher, just a reminder to everyone out in the public that there is the survey for anybody who wants to complete that.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Coyle, can you just comment on potential, of the 5, if there are front runners? If I've had a lot of community members approach me and ask, well, where is it really going to go? Where is there a preference? And I know the deputy chief commented in the paper about the fact that, the police department's position really is trying to identify a location that meets the criteria that's been defined. But can you just comment on where we are relative with the locations relative to one another?
Sure. There is no front runner at this point. We're too early in the process to say this is the front runner. Obviously, every site has benefits and detriments, both in the physical space as well as location. And so all those things are still in the process of being carefully considered and looking at, cost relative to each location. So at this point, there's no front runner. The locations listed are all contenders, and ultimately it's, going to come down to the city council. So we are just trying to, we're still very much in the data gathering portion of the process.
Any further comments?
Oh, I think she covered it all. Just at this point where they're costing out all the sites to have all the information to make an informed decision, which through our next 2 meetings, I think this November 6th and I think the 13th, hopefully after those 2 meetings we'll have a better idea of maybe a site that would be prioritized over the other.
Or at least narrowing the field at that
Correct,
point.
yeah.
But
And just to be clear about something that I think has been clear all along, but stands emphasizing again, the current police station and reworking that into a more workable site for the police station is on the list of the 5 sites. It hasn't been ruled out, and that again is part of the costing out process. Does it meet the criteria? What are the advantages, disadvantages? What are the costs? So that is still on the list. It hasn't been eliminated. Community priorities, crime analyst report.
Thank you, Commissioner. So at last month's meeting, even a few months prior to that, we've been keeping people informed of our new crime analyst / patrol administrative assistant position. And, I say new. We had a crime analyst position a number of years ago that was unfunded due to budgetary constraints, but we're happy to have that back. So Casey was unable to be here tonight, but that being said, I met with Casey and we went over a couple of things that we thought were metrics that the community is interested in Portsmouth based on feedback we get, and I have a number of statistics here. It's just a brief look again as we're just getting Casey up to speed and diving a little bit more into statistics. These stats were not in response to any one individual question, but just kind of an overall snapshot of only a handful of things that we do. And these numbers compared 2022 to 2023. And the time frame is January 1st each year until October 20th. So not a full calendar year of 2022, just year to date up until October 20th for both years. Total calls for service in 2022, we had 39,864 compared to 39,932 in 2023. That's less than a 1% change higher than 2022. In 2022, we had 63 DWI arrests. In 2023 so far, we have 67. That's over a 6% increase. Reportable motor vehicle crashes, we had 434 in 2022. We are down 3% to 421 in 2023. Total arrests in 2022, 821 compared to 712 in 2023. That's down a little over 13%. Total police reports taken, 2,166 in 2022. 2023, 2,006, so about a 7% decrease there. Total motor vehicle stops, and again, just to reiterate, not for the calendar year, just January 1 to October 20th. 2022, 7,385 compared to 6,649 in 2023. It's a 9% reduction. Involuntary emergency admission arrests, and that deals with mental health related crisis calls, where the police department, whether on our own or whether receiving paperwork from an authorized party, has to take somebody under arrest involuntarily and take them to the hospital for a medical evaluation. 2022, we had 65. 2023, we're at 39 right now, which is a 40% decrease. Calls related mental health, 2022 was 250 to 177 in 2023, down 29.2%. And we spend a considerable amount of time on juvenile related matters, and juvenile matter calls in 2022 was 183 compared to 140 in 2023, and that's about a 23% reduction. So again, not to get into the weeds too much on any number of stats, but that was just kind of at the request of the commissioners, an opportunity for us to share some of the common things that we deal with for day to day. And again, as we become more acclimated to having the crime analyst on board, we'll be able to see a more structured, consistent analysis product and look at trends from year to year. We can look at trends from year to year as now, but that's also something that we'll do, is not just look back 1 year, but look back 2-3 years and have a better idea of trends. So,
One comment and then a question. The comment is, it's great that we have the crime analyst back, just to be able to tell the public what you just told them. Very simple statistics, but it's really valuable for the public's sense of, are we in a safe community? Where are things headed? And so my compliments to both you and the crime analyst, Casey. Second question. The question is, again, I don't want, as you suggested, I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but the very substantial decrease in the mental health calls and other statistics you talk about related to mental health issues. Any particular explanation for that? Does it have anything to do with the mobile crisis unit being in effect, or?
right. It's of course it's tough to exactly capture why we don't know about something, because simply we don't know about it. We just see it in the raw data. But however, I do think that exactly what you said is the mobile crisis unit is that people do now have an option available to them that's easier than calling the police, and police officers not necessarily needed. So it's, and one of the things that we see when we run these stats is things that are interesting. So we see things that are interesting, such as a reduction in that, and then we look at, well, what is going on in that time that may have contributed to that. So I don't think we would be wrong by saying that the mobile crisis unit, mobile crisis teams have had an impact in reducing the amount of calls for service to the police, when at the end of the day, a mental health provider, a mental health professional would be more suited to handle that call than an officer. So,
And also, as I recall, part of what's been going on in the last year is the advent of the 988 number, which
Right.
probably had some effect also.
Right, and a lot of the folks that we deal with that are into mental crisis or have mental health issues are the same people over and over again. So when we have an opportunity to maybe touch them once and refer them to additional resources, maybe it's that second, third, fourth calls that we're not seeing now, where they're taking our recommendations and hopefully seeking that help somewhere else.
This guy, just in addition to that, the 98 number would be one that hopefully is working to reduce the number of calls, but as we add on additional social worker, hopefully those numbers will continue to go down because we won't be dealing with as many repeat offenders.
Commissioner Coyle?
Deputy Chief, when we're taking this data about crime statistics data, does that go out from our department anywhere? And after it's out, is there a way for the public to access that information?
It does. So we report monthly to the FBI, and the calendar year statistics for all types of crimes, whether it be violent crimes, property crimes, every criminal offense that we can possibly think of, we report out on a monthly basis to the FBI. And they produce a yearly report, which is available online, and we're actually going to be sharing the link to that on our website. And it's a very user-friendly, very easy to follow, up-to-date and accurate assessment of all types of crime patterns, crime trends. It breaks it down, including the average age of an offender, the average age of a victim, where the crime takes place. And you can look at those statistics all the way back till 2011, 2012. And it's the number that the statistics that you'll see on the FBI's website come directly from us. And we'll be sharing that link soon on our website.
Okay, so the public can have full access to all of our crime statistic data through that FBI link.
They can.
I was using it earlier today. It's remarkably easy to use.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Chief, update on the social worker search for the social worker?
So last week they conducted interviews and we have selected a person who now is in our background process, and hopefully within the next month or so should be coming online.
Which will, another part of the process we were just talking about in terms of managing, having multiple responses in the community to mental health crises. Karen, a update on the CAD RMS contract and implementation update?
Daisy Lavoie, our IT manager, had set appointments for October to start the implementation with all the staff, but that's been pushed to November due to the vendor requesting that. So all of our meetings will start in November.
I will say that some of the equipment has started arriving. We've received the servers, so we started setting up servers, and the project is progressing.
Seems more real now that there's actual equipment.
Yes.
I know we ask this question every police commission meeting, but any sense in terms of timeline of when it will be operational?
I don't think it's changed. We're still probably looking at it for at least a year out. I think once we get through this next session of the implementation plan and committees, we'll get a little better of an understanding, but we'll probably start working on it probably within the next year, and then full implementation is probably, at least 12 to 18 months out.
And one of the great advantages of this new CAD MRS system is what we were just talking about, our ability to compile a variety of statistics about what's going on in the community is going to be improved tremendously. The upcoming municipal election, which is coming up November 3rd, is anybody?
7th,
November 7th.
yes.
We encourage everybody to vote. There are 3 candidates now for the open slot on the police commission. So it will be a competitive election, but more than anything, whoever you're going to vote for, please get out there and vote. It makes a huge amount of difference that people participate in democracy at the town level.
Do you want to see if Commissioner Shaheen has anything else to share?
Commissioner Sheen, you have anything else to share on the upcoming municipal election or anything else?
No, you've got it covered.
Chief, it's yours now.
All right, so we're gonna move, we've already done the vesting, so we'll work to grants and donations. It will need a commission vote to adopt a grant from the US DOJ in the amount of $381,221 for the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force in New Hampshire. This award is a continuation of the federal grant supplement 2. Need a motion for acceptance of the grant.
Is there a motion?
I move to accept the Internet Crimes Against Children Grant Supplement 2 in the amount of $381,221 and forward it to the City Council for their action.
Second.
Commissioner Coyle, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaheen?
Yes.
Yes, that passes. Next.
Next grant is in the amount of $11,437.50 from the Bureau of Justice of Assistance Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership. This helps fund 50% of the costs associating officers with outfitting new officers and replacing old vests for current officers. Need a motion to accept the,
I move to accept the grant in the amount of $11,435.50 from the Bureau of Justice Assistance Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership and forward to the City Council for their action.
Second.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaheen?
Yes.
Yes, passes unanimously.
all right, and the third one is a unsolicited donation of a television monitor from the Home Depot. Members of the police department and detective investigative unit have been working on organized retail crime and are working collaboratively on an investigation where television monitoring equipment is necessary in furtherance of the case.
And a motion?
I move to accept the unsolicited donation of a television monitor from the Home Depot for investigative purposes and forward to the City Council for their action.
Second.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaheen?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Chief, or Deputy Chief?
Traffic stats.
Traffic stats?
For the month of October, conducted 714 motor vehicle stops, issued 51 summonses, and responded to 41 reportable motor vehicle crashes.
Anything notable on in terms of trends of this month, or as opposed to?
Unfortunately, in the last few months, we've had a number of crashes involving serious bodily injury and, in one case, death. We haven't particularly been able to drill down as to why these are happening. Of course, in each individual instance, due to the investigation, we're able to figure out causation, why that crash happened, but we're not necessarily seeing any type of pattern. Aside from the fact that distracted driving continues to be one of the overall contributors of traffic crashes, and obviously our aggressive traffic enforcement is in response to reducing those crashes. And from the earlier reports I read, I was happy to see that overall we've reduced crashes, but unfortunately some of the ones that we've had lately have been serious. That being said, as we're coming up here in October, November, I attended a meeting this morning with New Hampshire Office of Highway Safety in preparation for the holiday seasons, and are participating in a Seacoast initiative for DWI saturation efforts that will be announced shortly, November 22nd through November 26th. And a lot of that is exactly in response to the tragic fatal crash that we had in Portsmouth the night before Thanksgiving last year. So that's always on the forefront. impaired driving enforcement, DWI enforcement, and certainly you'll see in the next few months that we'll be out there aggressively pursuing these impaired drivers.
I know we've had this conversation before, but when you refer to distracted driving, perhaps also known as driving while cell phoning, are there ways the department can try and address that?
We do. As I spoke to the Office of Highway Safety grant funding, we have dedicated patrols that an officer will go out and work on it throughout the year. And one of those specific grant patrols is a distracted driving patrol. Now, you can pull over a motor vehicle for any infraction during that patrol, but the focus is on distracted driving. And just anecdotally, I know from talking to officers and being out on the road myself that, we enforce the hands-free violation probably more than we enforce any other violation because it's so prevalent. And through, awareness, education, and enforcement, ultimately we're looking for that voluntary compliance where people put down the phones and pay more attention. But
Is there education going on in the school systems and like high school law enforcement?
I can't speak exactly. I can only suspect that the driving schools and the driver education classes, cover that. We have also with the Highway Safety Grant Initiative, we have received additional grant funding to put on in-person training classes, if you will, for members of the city. We've targeted elderly residents. We've targeted younger drivers, and it's an opportunity for the police department puts together a presentation. It's about an hour to an hour and a half. If you check our social media and our Facebook, you can see when we're having it. But we do outreach and community outreach there, and part of that is reading that exact statute in an effort to get the word out more.
Any questions, Commissioner Quell?
No.
Commissioner Shaheen?
Nope.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Financial report.
Yep. The financial report that you have in your packet shows that we're tracking about 1.6% below the cap. Although I had anticipated completing the collective bargaining allocations by this meeting, I actually just finished them at 3 o'clock today. So the finance director and I will be sitting down to confirm all my calculations, and we'll get those into Penimation for the next report. But I did do a quick calculation, and with the additional $567,000 added to our budget, we are actually tracking at 2.5% under the cap for this period. In terms of the budget process, the FY25 budget process has begun. Submitted the rolling stock plan. The capital improvement plan has been submitted. We carried forward all of our projects from last year. We had anticipated retiring the $400,000 that we've been requesting year after year for repairs and whatnot, but we had to bring it back for this capital improvement plan due to the cost of the HVAC system that they're going to be installing that's going to help bring fresh air into the second floor, the first floor, and whatnot. We did add 2 projects. The taser rotation plan, I think we discussed that in a prior meeting, and the in-cruiser and handheld radars. Those aren't usually replaced super often, so it's going to be an all-out replacement this time, so the cost is over $50,000, so it has to go into the plan. In reference to grants, we received a notification last week about a CERT equipment grant app for $14,403 that has to be completed by mid-November, and we'll get that to you once we have it approved.
Any questions, Commissioner Quell?
I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Shaheen?
I have one question relative to the 2.5% below the cap, and I know we're dealing with some hiring needs in the near term. How do you say that compares to this time in the budget cycle in prior years? Is that higher, lower, the same?
I was going to say it's about the same as last year. I usually like to have 3% as a cushion, but 2.5% I'll take.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you. That wraps up the meeting, other than, is there any new business that anyone has? So our next regular meeting is Tuesday, November 21st. And there is a work session with the city council and the facility planning committee on November 13th, is it? So I note that for everyone who's interested. Other than that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner
Yes.
Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Sheen? I think we lost Commissioner Sheen.
I'm here. I said yes. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And yes. And we'll see you all next month.